the tiny whoopinest guy I know, Mr. Jason Cole. What's happening, Jason Cole?
What's going on?
Okay, so here's the concept for all of you out there and for Jason, who I didn't tell. I was like, are you there? He said, yeah. And I said, we're going live. And he said, let me change my shirt. I didn't change my shirt. So here's the concept. The video will be you and I or whoever in the future. So if you're watching this now, you'll know in the future we'll talk about other things with other people. But we're going to talk about 5 things many people don't know about the Tiny Whoop. Now, I'm not a Tiny Whoop owner, but you are. And so I'm going to start. I do have a first question that I don't know about the Tiny Whoop.
Okay.
The Tiny Whoop did not start its life as a Tiny Whoop. What did the Tiny Whoop start as?
Yeah, so the Tiny Whoop started out as the Blade Inductrix. I believe it was Blade.
And
it is.
It's just a tiny quadcopter, and hold it up so everyone can see what we're talking about.
It's like a $59 toy quad, and it comes with like a cool case, and it comes with 2 different like bodies that you put on top. There's like a blue one and a red one, and it was seemingly designed as a toy, like an entry-level quadcopter for somebody to get their kid around Christmas time.
So let me stop you there. We all, probably everyone reading or watching this, has had an entry-level tiny quad in the $50 to $79 range, which ultimately, initially it's fun. Then after a short while, you burn out on it. But there's a reason that the Inductrix is cooler than its predecessors. Can you tell us why it's cooler than all the other?
Well, for starters, it flies really well, which is great for a small micro indoor beginner quadcopter. So it flies good, but it's sort of like a ducted fan almost. You can see the blades are protected by these little plastic shrouds, and that just allows you to kind of bump into things. You can hit the wall, you can bounce off the ceiling. You can't really get to the props very easily with objects, so it allows you to hit stuff and bounce off and ricochet and still keep flying. So that's one thing that's just really great about it, is it stays in the air.
So as you're cruising through your whole house, you can hit a wall, hit a light, hit anything, and you don't have to run upstairs and go pick it up because it's just going to bounce right off.
Yeah. So the other hand, there's the Nano Qx2, which is a purpose-built FPV indoor model. And it's got landing gear feet. I've got the box over there, but it's in the box. But it's got these landing gear feet that kind of hang out like little whiskers, and they kind of grab things and
everything.
Cause it to flip over, and you're constantly having to go pick it up. So that's why the Inductrix is such a cool little micro quad.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
The third thing that you may not know about the Tiny Whoop is you have to replace the motors, or do you not have to replace the motors?
Yeah, well, if you're going to leave it stock and just fly at line of sight for fun, then leave the stock motors in it. But if you're going to add the little micro cameras,
that's next.
Like we run,
yes.
In order to do it with the proper amount of power, you need the Micro Motor Warehouse fast motors, and it's an upgrade motor set. It's like $26, I think. There's also some new motors out that I haven't tested called Insane. I think they're supposed to be a little bit faster. But I think the fast motors are about perfect for runtime versus power and all that stuff. If you're going to FPV it, you don't want the stock motors because it adds, enough weight that it makes it terrible with the stock motors. You would hate it.
And then that takes us to number 4, the thing you didn't know about the Tiny Whoop. And as a non-Whoop owner, my question is, what camera/video transmitter do I need for the Tiny Whoop?
Yeah, so there's several out there. There's Hyperion makes one, Turnigy makes one. The one I've got is the ready-made RC Cricket little nano cam. So it's basically a camera and transmitter combo, all built into one, and it operates on one cell, which the Inductrix works on a 1-cell battery. So what we do is, it's going to be really hard to show probably, but see if I can get it to focus. You can kind of see right there where my fingertips are. We take the camera power leads and solder it right to the Inductrix main board where the battery lead is. So we're basically plugging in the battery and that's powering the flight board, the motors, and the camera transmitter combo.
Okay, so I believe that is 4 things you didn't know about the Tiny Whoop. I think for the 5th, I'm going to leave this to you, Jason. What is something that we haven't discussed that people out there may not know, like who invented it or how did it become such a huge sensation?
Yeah, well, so we'll make it 4.5. Along with the upgraded motors, you do need upgraded batteries. So I've got a couple different packs here. I've got the new Nitro Nectars. These are 210 milliamp hour. And then I've got some Apex RC ones, and those are 200 milliamp hour. The stock like 150s, 125s are just not enough. You really want some 200s, 205, 210 mil packs. And you get about between anywhere from 3 to 4.5 minutes of flight time, depending on the battery and how good it is and how much hair you have stuck in your props or not. Check your props often for hair, folks. But who started it was basically the guys from Team Big Whoop. It's kind of a club group that started up that are racers. They have a team race. We actually competed against them at the cavern race in Louisville. Our national team competed against them in the team race, and they did a really good job. Bunch of cool guys. They just like to have fun, and that's actually where I first saw the Tiny Whoop. Was he was flying it around in the cave there, and it was just the coolest thing in the world. It's like once you see it, you have to have it, and then once you fly it, you just really know. You don't know until you know, and when you fly it, you know.
When you know, you'll know. Love us, Bobby. So this is going to be for everyone that's watching this video. This is going to be a feature on RC Groups. I will have a link in the description on YouTube so that you can then go and we're out of our 5 questions now. This is now a factual question. Is there a singular place I can go to purchase everything I need to create a Tiny Whoop?
Yeah, I'd have to let me look it up. How about this? I'll get you the link and you can put it in the article.
Yes.
But unfortunately, these things are, I don't know. I mean, it's the most popular quad in the world right now, I would say. It's so popular that the motors are constantly out of stock. The batteries are constantly out of stock. The camera transmitter combos are constantly out of stock everywhere. There's just this tiny whoop apocalypse that has happened, and the parts are just not available. Now, that said, you were having to kind of search and scavenge and find things individually that you might need. Including people are now making 3D mounts for the cameras and antenna protectors and all this stuff. But there is a place, I think it's Newbie Drone. That's where it came from. So Newbie Drone has a combo package for a little over $100. It comes with the frame, the flight board, the right motors, the fast upgraded motors, a camera transmitter combo, and maybe 1 battery, I think, in the kit. But it's basically everything you need to make the proper Tiny Whoop the right way. Instead of having to buy the stock blade Inductrix, take those motors out, put the new motors in, you basically buy it as a kit with all the parts that you need, and you end up saving some money. And he's actually got stock inventory right now. I just got these Nitro Nectar batteries in from him today at Newbie Drone. So
all right, everybody, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, as soon as I hit the stop button, the stop broadcast button, this is going to be posted on YouTube, and then I'm going to create the story. And Jason, I'm going to create the feature and then send you a link and see if you can't drop all the links that anyone would need for a Tiny Whoop. And we'll credit you in there as Jason Cole links.
Certainly.
All right, everybody, this has been the first episode of 5 Things You Didn't Know, and today it was 5 things you didn't know about the Tiny Whoop. Thanks for Jason Cole, who had no idea why I was going to video chat him. And then one more shot of the Tiny Whoop, JC. Hold on, I'm presenting now. Hold on. Say something, Jason.
Hello, Tiny Whoop.
All right, everybody, rcgroups.com. Stay tuned for more things you don't know. Maybe you do. It's hard to say. Jim T. Graham, rcgroups.com.